Hello, YouTube. How is everybody today? Hope everyone's having a great week. I know the heat has been ridiculous here in Southern Ontario. I know from a few of my YouTube friends from the US, you guys are having major heat waves as well. Please do whatever you can to keep cool. I beg of you, please. Others stay indoors. If you got to be outside, do as little as possible. Lots of fluid. You guys all know the drill. Anyhow, we're going to start with a bit of a story time. Then I'm going to show you two projects I have on the go. And then I'm going to finish. Well, I was going to show you one project, then finish story time and show you the second project. So, start off with I am right handed. I think what story was I starting with? And when I crochet, I hold my hook in my right hand, but my yarn in my left. Now, when I knit, I hold, doesn't matter, they're deep ends, circulars, or straight, one in each hand. This is my right hand will be taking the stitches from my left hand. I hold the yarn with this finger. Keep this finger in mind. This finger comes very important in a moment in my storytelling. And oh, is it ever a doozy. So start off with first WIP. My Sophie's Universe. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe I'm like getting so close, and here's a reminder what Sophie looks like. Now I am doing mine with cakes. I am not changing yarn every row or every round, and I'm using a 3-weight cake, not a 4-weight yarn like the pattern calls for. So yes, my dimensions will be a little smaller. I am quite okay with that because she's big already, and I still have, I think, about 40 rounds to go. I think. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 26. I got 29 rows, rounds to go. So yeah, I'm very happy with her. I am still working on cake 3. Although, when I showed her last time, cake 3 had a lot more yarn in it than this. I'm thinking this next round is going to be the end of this cake. Now, with that said, I don't know if the other 2 cakes I have will be enough to finish Sophie's. So at the moment, I may be playing yarn chicken. I'm not 100% sure. So let me get her all organized here. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have her out prior, and I should have. Okay, the blue stitch marker is where I was last time I showed her to you. And the purple is the start of the round. And actually, I did actually start the round. Okay. So I'm going to show you the long row and half each side of the short row to start with. Nope, I'm going to show you half of the long side at each end and the short row in the center. That's how we're going to do it, I think. Although, yeah, we'll do this one. I'm not organized. I am so sorry, everybody. Okay, so here where this blue stitch marker is, like I said, where I showed you guys last time, and it is back to being a square. I am so happy that it's back to being a square. And then this is where I am currently. So I will move the stitch marker up here. But I'm just kind of showing you what she looks like. It's hard to see her, I know, because she's not laying totally flat. And stitches are rolling on each other. But I'm still very much in love with her, I can tell you that much. And then here's another corner, which puts her back into a square. And then repeats the other 4 sides. So let me change my stitch marker so I don't forget to do so. There. I try lately to make sure I finish, well, prior to becoming a square again, I tried to make sure I always finished on at least a side. But now I'm trying to make sure I always finish on a round just so I can actually say that round's complete. So there we go. Okay, so she's coming along pretty good. Like I said, I'm still very pleased with her, very happy with her. With only 30 rounds to go, I know I'm not going to be touching her for probably the next week or two. And then, because the beginning of the month when I usually start new projects for my make-alongs I participate in. So she usually goes kind of dormant for a bit there each month if I have her out for the month. Which, like I said, this past month I did. So who knows when we will see her next. But she is coming along. Definitely past, I think and hope, most of the hard parts. Okay, back to the finger. Last Friday's video, when I showed you my finished object from my Head to Winter Knits book, that you guys have been so grateful and how, so helpful. And I'm grateful for you guys helping me choose what item I'm making next out of this book. And there is still a poll up and running. You guys can vote in it. I have the next 3 projects up. If you want to see what they actually look like, you can go to last Friday's video and replay it. I do show pictures. So last Friday, I decided, okay, well, this is the project that won, which was the 40 style headband, and it shows the model wearing it again. I decided I was going to use my Yarn Bee yarn that I won just recently, and I do have a video of me showing that yarn. And it is a very light and very fluffy type of yarn, like very light yarn. I like it. I love how soft it is. So Friday I started the project, and when I started it Friday here at home, I was only a few rows down here. Then once we got to the camper, I got to about there, done. About this row here. And I figured I only had a couple more rows to go until it went to just, the band part. Because this wide part here, and there will be a wide part at this end, is where you tie it off to make like the bow type idea. As you can see, the yarn is changing color, which is pretty cool. There will be a bit of pink in it, because this yarn does have pink also in the yarn. But so I was at almost the point to decrease, and I was reading the instructions, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I don't know if I'm reading this correctly or if I'm, going to in a moment do the correct part. So I finally decided, okay, I'm going to put it away. Now, hubby and I decided to go up to the camper on Friday night after he got home from work and had dinner. And then we went up after that. So I sat in the trailer and knit it for a little bit before we went to bed. Saturday morning, my finger was like this. Top side between knuckles, and then between the knuckle and the hand, and the underside was cramped. And I mean cramped like this. I could barely open it, and I could barely close it. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, is there such a thing as too much knitting? I thought, this hurts so bad. And I only brought my knitting. I didn't bring Sophie with me because I took her up a couple different times. And hubby bring the bag from the truck. I'm like, just leave her out there. If I get done the other item I brought, I'll go get her out of the truck kind of thing. But he always brought her in, and back to the truck she'd go when we'd come home, and I never touched her. So I thought, thank goodness I had a book with me that I'm reading, because that's all I could do Saturday. My finger hurt so bad. And it didn't matter what I did. If I rubbed it, massaged it, tried to stretch it out kind of thing, or bend it in. It didn't matter what I did. It just hurt so bad. And the funny thing is, hubby he got up before I did, and he was out mowing the lawn actually, and talking with our neighbor and stuff and things like that. So he didn't realize I was up for a little while. Then finally he came in. I was in the middle of eating lunch, and he comes in and he's like, "Oh, hello," kind of thing. He was shocked I was already up and how late I went to bed the night before because I was busy knitting. And I looked at him and I got this pouty look on my face. And he's like, "What's the matter?" And I'm like, "There's such a thing as too much knitting." And he laughed at me. So anyhow, um, as of um then like I said, I was still in the thicker part. So I left her alone Saturday. I tried to knit a row on Saturday. I did one row and I thought, "Oh, this hurts. This hurts so bad. I can't do it anymore." And I was still at the wider part of the pattern. Now, mind you, yes, it's not many stitches, but I'm thinking because the yarn is so thin and so light, I don't think it was caused due to too much knitting because you guys have seen me. Like, for example, when I made this headband a couple weeks back, I made it in the weekend at the camper. Like, it did not take me long to make this. And this is a worsted weight yarn, and I'm carrying multiple colors and stuff like that. My finger was fine. I made the boot cuffs last weekend, or the other week, and it's a rib stitch and a worsted weight yarn, and I whipped those up in like, what, 24 hours, I think it was, guys. So, like, I don't think it was due to too much knitting. I'm thinking it's the type of yarn I'm using. Now, I've used thin, light yarn before, like for the white headband that you guys have seen me wear in different videos that I made through this book as well. I've made socks. I've used sock weight yarn. So I don't know if I was holding it like, and I was inside, so I wasn't out in the wind or the breeze with the yarn and trying to control it and wrangle it in kind of thing so it would stay where I wanted it. But I'm thinking it was somehow maybe the way I was holding that yarn, because this is the finger I wrap my yarn around when I knit. And oh, it hurt. So Sunday when I got up, I thought, Now, mind you, I put a big indent in the book I brought. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's starting to make sense to me, the book I'm reading. And I'm like, okay, Sunday going to be another reading day, or am I going to be able to knit some? So the pattern for the headband is a 2-row repeat. So what I would do is I'd knit 2 rows, put it down. I know it's a lot more work putting things down, picking things up, putting things down, picking it up. But that's what I did just to not to overdo my finger again. So I knit 2 rows, then I'd pick up my book and read the next page. So left, right, and then turn the page, put the bookmark in. So I'm on a fresh, double-sided, like both sides facing me pages. And that's what I did pretty much Sunday. And by Sunday evening when we came home, my finger was feeling better. But oh my God. So it hurt. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had that problem, or if you're the type that do a lot of like working with material and stuff like cloth and whatever, and you're using the the knife kind of thing. Maybe if you grip it too tight and you've had that problem, or if you do the diamond painting and you're holding the tool to do the little pieces to put in, or if you're a needle pointer. I would love to know if any of you guys have ever had this problem, or if you're a paper crafter, but like whatever craft you do, if you've ever had this problem where all of a sudden, a piece of you all of a sudden ache so much. Like I know some people, especially if you're bent over all the time doing whatever, the back of your neck can hurt and stuff. But like, let me know if you guys have ever done something in the craft that you do, where all of a sudden one day you're just sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, I've overdone it. I've really truthfully overdone what I'm doing, because it feels so weird to think there's too much thing as knitting. And like, I hadn't done much. I've mainly been crocheting for the last 2 weeks, other than the boot cuffs that I ripped or made within like 24 hours. And then the week before that, I did the headband thing. But mainly I've been doing crocheting. Like, you guys have seen how much work I put in Sophie in the last 2 weeks. I hadn't done a whole lot of knitting. So I really, really do think it's the yarn and the way I'm holding it. Now, I do have another project in this book. When it gets picked, I'm thinking I'm going to make it out of this yarn as well, just because I think it would look really cute in this yarn. And it will be interesting to see if I have that problem with my finger again. I'm actually going to maybe take a sticky note and stick it to this band to remind me, caution, this affected my finger and this is what it did kind of thing. But oh man, it was something else. So those are my WIPs for this week. Now, tomorrow I will have a video out telling you guys what the next thing we're making Thursday project will be, because tomorrow's the last Thursday of the month, and that's what I'm going to actually be working on that this weekend coming up. It'll be that project, and then maybe a little bit more on the headband, but that project's kind of like it's not like it's going to take me long, to be honest with you. The project I have in mind, I'm using only just one cake of yarn, and I'm thinking it's only going to take me a couple hours to make it. I'm thinking I could probably even have part of it started tomorrow and possibly almost done tomorrow for next Thursday. Who knows? Hubby and I are going to the camper Thursday this week because he starts holidays as a Friday morning. So he's coming home Thursday from work. We're going to do dinner, and then from there, take off up to the trailer. We will not be back home until Tuesday because Monday's the holiday for us here in Canada. And I will not have a finished object video Friday. So you guys still have plenty of time to go over to my About page and go over to my Post tab and click on it. Excuse me. And the very first thing that should pop up under my post, like when that page opens, will be the poll I have going on for the next 3 items to vote on. Then the next Friday after that, I'm not sure, because like I said, I think we're coming home Tuesday, and I don't know if we're going back out on Thursday or Friday. So maybe next Friday, I may have a video for you. I don't know if I'll have a WIP or not for you next Wednesday. Depends on what I may be still working on. If anything, I may not touch Sophie. I don't know, kind of thing. Next Thursday, I should have things to make in Thursday project. Like I said, I should have that done no problem over the weekend for what I'm planning on making. And then if I'm home Friday, I may have a finish it Friday video for you for the headband if it's done, and let you guys know which project won from the book. But if not, you guys will get a second week to vote. I got another week beyond that to vote. So I thank you guys for hanging out with me for a few minutes while I tell you my wonderful story about my finger and too much knitting. Like I said, can't believe that exists. As I'm gonna get this video up, I am going to record my things are making Thursday video in a moment, so I'll be in the same outfit, but I'm going to wait till after midnight to put it up, so that technically it goes up on Thursday, but I'm recording it Wednesday, and we'll see where it goes from there. Who knows, right? So I'm gonna upload this video, so keep an eye out. It's coming to you, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. Keep cool, keep safe. Like I said, don't overexert yourself if you don't have to. If you're able to stay in AC, please do. If you don't have AC or much fans and your place is extremely hot and you're able to get to like a mall where it's air conditioned, or a public library, or if you have like a rec center, like a drop-in cooling rec center type idea, use those. They're there, use them. Even if you go like to the mall or to the library and you bring a book, or if you're a crocheter or a knitter and you bring something small to work on and you sit there for a couple hours just chilling and, off in your own little corner working on whatever you're working on. I know in our libraries, a lot of people do that. They'll go in with their craft and sit there and work on it for 2-3 hours, especially in the summer months when it's excessively hot out and if they don't got AC. So yes, or they'll go hang in the mall and go like sit in the corner of like the big food court or something like that and sit there and work on their project, or sit there and read or something. Keep yourself cool. Like I said, do not want to come home from holidays and come to find out I've lost some of my friends here on YouTube because, too much heat exposure and you had a heat stroke or something. I really, really don't want to hear that. If you've got asthma, especially if you got asthma, keep yourself cool and chill, and don't overdo yourself. Take your time. If you're going out to do, say, grocery shopping, or you gotta take an animal out for a walk or whatever, take your time. Do the longer walks first thing in the morning or later in the evening. where it's hopefully a little bit cooler, or try and pick a route or somewhere you can maybe go with the dog and you'll be mostly in the shade, like, you know, or find out if there's a dog park maybe nearby you that's got like a water sprinkling system in it. And that way you can keep your dog cool and maybe stand near it enough that either your dog will shake on you and get you wet and cool you down, or the mist will blow on you or something like that. Find something to keep cool. That's all I'm asking, please. Like, I know for us, our apartment's air conditioned. I have dark blue curtains on all of our windows. Windows are all kept shut except our bedroom window, and that's because the AC unit is in it. And it's on high. And it's been on high now since the last major heat wave we had back in June. So I know when I step out my apartment door, it's like, oh, it's terrible out here. But in my apartment, it is cool. Um, I'm not expecting a whole lot in the mail departments. I don't go down and get my mail often. And it also sucks because right now we don't have a working elevator due to it's being completely replaced. So that kind of sucks. So thank goodness I'm only on the third floor, 2 flights of stairs. But if I'm coming from underground, it's 3 flights. But I manage. I take my time going down. I'm fine. Take my time coming up the stairs. I don't over rush myself. If I gotta take a break on a landing somewhere or something, I do so. I know my limits, and I hope you guys all do too. I know I'm bad with you guys. I am so sorry. Make sure I put my hook away with my Sophie, so I don't all of a sudden think, oh no, which hook was I using again? Because I've done that before. It was not fun. But guys, I will upload this video and I am going to make my second one, and it will be going up in a few hours. So love you guys, respect you guys. Can't wait to see what you're all making, and have a great day. Bye for now.